This is Moments with Foo with James Foo Torres, better known as Foo, the show that takes you around the world to share interviews with some of the most successful and relevant people on the planet, hear their stories, and get the most important business lessons they have learned on their road to success, and get exclusive advice on how to implement their success into your life and business. Moments with Foo is brought to you by the Strategic Advisor Board and your host, Foo.
Welcome to Moments with Foo. I'm your host, James Foo Torres. You can call me Foo, hence the name of the show. Today I have Catherine Kontos. She is the RetreatBoss. She's specialized in doing retreats, and I'm going to let her tell you more about that. But first, Catherine, how are you?
I'm great. How are you? Thank you for having me
here. No, thanks for coming here. I know, we had to reschedule before and things like that. And we've known each other for probably like a year and a half or more. And now it's that the time has come finally for us to do this. Hopefully we don't we don't struggle with something, calls that might be coming or internet issues, things that happen, right? So let's kick it off with a quick introduction about, well, I didn't tell you how it was first, right? Like I'm doing good. I'm in beautiful Puerto Rico, right? I forgot to answer your question, but well, it's winter.
Yeah, he's nicely tanned. I'm in Canada, nicely pale, you can see. But soon, in a few weeks, I'll be going south, and that won't be the case. So, yeah, sorry.
Great. Let's kick it off with a quick introduction about yourself and your company.
Sure. So again, my name is Catherine. I founded RetreatBoss about 12 years ago. It is a company that helps plan retreats internationally. So we have eyes and feet everywhere in the world. We have collaborations and partners everywhere in the world. So if anybody is looking to plan a retreat, we can help you do that. But we also are the authority in the space because we are the only accredited program in the world right now that helps people plan retreats. In other words, there's courses that can help you do a step-by-step process on how to, launch, market, plan, organize, all of that stuff till all the way post-retreat and make it a successful, profitable, very profitable business. So that's what we're doing now. And then there's also my private brand, which is, under CatherineKontos.com. That's more like my book, my authorship, my speaking engagements, and all of that stuff, the business coaching that I do and consulting. So I have two things going on. But my company is RetreatBoss, and my focus is always purpose-driven, whether it's one or the other. If you have a purpose-driven business or are looking to open up a purpose-driven business, then I'm the person to come to for any type of consulting or even to listen to. I have podcasts and stuff like that too. So there's a lot of stuff happening, but the one main thing that is the same is it's purpose-driven.
Yeah, and it all connects. It's all purpose driven, and then to have the biggest impact, typically, it's during a retreat, right? So that's what you kind of start there as your strongest thing. But there is ways to have impact virtually, and consulting and through books, podcasts, and all types of different content, and that's why we're doing things like this, right? Like we're doing this podcast together so we can educate people and give actionable tips or advice, right? That's one of the main things that I love to do in this podcast, for people to have something to take action on after they listen to this, and guide them. Hey, here's a link, here's a PDF, here's something. That's what typically I get people to just give a real route for people to take action. That's the main thing. So before I get into that part, when you said accredited, is it to be able for some schools to actually get credits for, or just like a certification to certify like quality, or how that works?
So we got accredited by the International Coaching Federation, the ICF. This is the main place where all the coaches, like not all the coaches, So you have to apply, you have to go through their testing and rigor, right, to get in there, and also to finish with their license. Okay, so our program has become part of their program, and that means when you get a certification, you get a certification from RetreatBoss, but also from the ICF. So anybody who's in the coaching business, it's for everybody. But if you are in the coaching business and you have this accreditation from ICF, this actually gives you, hours. They evaluate by hours, okay? And that is like a thing, like to be able to get these hours, because sometimes you have to take a lot of courses. You just have to take our course and you get these hours when you're a coach. But if you are a travel agent, a corporate human resources, whatever it is, and you want something that is, because it's different when everybody has courses online, right? Like everybody has courses online. Are they good? You don't know. There could be reviews, and that way you could judge it. But how do you know it's actually good? Here we have a third party that has nothing to do with RetreatBoss that we applied for. And it goes through like a lot of channels. It took me a year to get it accredited. And, it did. So, so that's what it means by accredited. It means like, okay, you're not just getting just another online course that you don't know if it's actually good or whatever. And what value does it have also at the end? Okay, you get a certification. How real is this certification? Is anybody can get a certification online. You just print up the diploma or whatever you want to call it, and you give it to the person, right? So, people have to be careful of stuff like that. But, this is actually accredited by a third party. That's the difference.
Yeah, a reputable third party, right? So I wanted to get that clear for myself and also for the audience to make sure, accreditation, anything can be. I can see that's Foo certified and print out something, right? A graphic from Canva, but it's just having a reputable source, right? That gives you that credibility, right? And that's when it comes like I know a lot about this. I mean, coming from the background of public relations and doing marketing strategy, I still consider that to like how can we leverage other people's authority, right? That's a lot of that PR, right? And like as getting associated with Yahoo, with Forbes, with a reputable source like the ICF, things like that, right? So,
and for me, it was a differential.
It's a differentiator, you said?
Absolutely. When you're in business, you have to have something that makes you different from everybody else.
That's true. So now that we got that out of the way, let's go to the actionable tips or advice part of this podcast. So if there's there's a business owner, could be a coach, could be just somebody that just wants to retreats, could be a yoga person that does Reiki and doesn't want to do retreats. Like I have a lot of those in my network right now. So anybody that is looking to do a retreat right now, what are some actionable tips or advice that you can give them so they can take some action towards doing a very profitable retreat and being able to make it a thing, right? And repeatable, a business,
So retreats are passion projects, right? They're fun. People want to do them. They're excited because it's kind of like a vacation, a group, a vibe, a tribe, all of that stuff. And a lot of people don't take it as seriously as they should. Okay. And what they do is they go into it because they went to a retreat and then I could do this. This looks easy. They don't realize that it's actually a business, right? When you're doing this is a business and you have to take it seriously like a business because you can lose your pants. You can lose a lot of money trying to get this going if you don't know how to launch it. But if you do know how to do it, you're going to make a lot of money. We're talking about retreats that, just start off with $10,000 net profit. And from that $10,000 net, if you know how to upsell your clients, during the retreat, which I don't mean start putting sales teams into your retreat. Absolutely not. They're so excited about you and your retreat at that point that anything that you are presenting, like you have it just there, or they're going to be asking you, when's your next retreat? Oh yeah, sign up here. Oh, I want to continue this program. I want to be with everybody. Yeah, sign up here. I want to buy your book. Yeah, here it is. You can make up to $30,000 at that one retreat. So imagine you have 4 or 5 of them, which is very doable in a year. Okay, you're making a good amount of money on retreats. Okay, and you are also paying for your trips. You are also getting, if you are associated with someone like an agency or, like RetreatBoss, you also get like a lot of perks like familiarization trips, which are basically venues, hotels, resorts that tell you come and check us out for 2, 3 days for free and let us show you what it's like here, right? Or come for a week. You get gifts from vendors, stuff like that, because they want you to go there and see what they offer so you can offer it to your clients. Okay. So there's a lot of perks to it, but it's a lot of work. It is a business. It's not just a vacation with a group of people. Second thing is you're responsible for all these people. So there's liability. You have to be sure that you're covered. Okay. You can't just say no. There's a lot of retreat leaders out there that have never been trained because it's kind of new. It's not new, but it's kind of new as far as business is concerned. And they're just going out there creating these retreats with zero contracts, zero waivers. And even the waivers they do have are something that they got off the internet, right? It's a business and it's a very there's a lot of liability because you're dealing with dynamic of people. Two people, like let's say we're together at a retreat, all of a sudden we get into an argument, right? Something happens. It all falls on the host. Someone falls and trips at a venue. It falls back on the host. So you got to make sure you have that, that covered in a contract. So, there's stuff like this that you need to think about. But the key thing to making a successful retreat as far as marketing is concerned is building your community. You have to build a community. Why would they come to your retreat? Right? They got to know you. They're going to spend 7 days, maybe $7,000 coming to your retreat. They got to know you. They got to know your program. They want to come there and feel comfortable. That you're going to do what you say you're going to do and not just have spent 7 days with people they don't know and they don't like. So you have to build a community. And after you do that, your retreat will be a success. And then after that, you've built your community. It's just going to roll easily like a snowball. Like it's going to be a snowball effect over and over and over again. And it's just going to grow. So those are the main key takeaways, like when you are thinking of starting up a retreat that you have to seriously consider.
Yeah, I like that. It's not just a passion project and I want to help, but then don't treat it as a business and then go in the red. That's like the worst that can happen. Maybe worse if you get sued actually. So
Right.
making sure that you get those waivers, then you
Yeah.
get everything squared away so you protect yourself. It's a big thing that most people don't take into consideration as my guess.
Yeah.
So,
And
it,
legal stuff doesn't
and
happen. Sorry, it doesn't happen often. You know what I mean?
the
It's not.
legal
Yeah, the legal stuff, like meaning it's unlikely to happen, like something really bad. But it only needs to happen once. That's the thing. And really, it's just a paper that needs to be signed. And usually, what contracts are good for is people that want to cancel. That's the biggest thing. Because, like they'll be like, oh, I want to cancel. And you're like, well, no, there's a no refund policy. It's written in the contract that you
Mhm.
signed, right? So that saves you. If you don't have a contract in place, guess what? You have to pay them back. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, gotta definitely protect yourself. And so no, build your community, know your people, uh, have upsells ready and not in a salesy way. Just make it easy for people that want to buy. If they're asked, have something ready. Have your books, make it easy for people, right? When it comes to buy, that's why Amazon's so successful. They made it so easy that people just buy things that sometimes they don't even remember they bought because it was too easy. They almost tripped and bought it. You know? So so make it easy for people to be able to buy from you. And I would say to, kind of like what you said, like building community, it's just building a culture of surprise, delight, and wow. So they were expecting something, but what can you do to surprise and delight them that now they feel like you're way more than a transaction, that they're more than a transaction, they are their actual relationship that you have. That comes with building the community, but I would add to have strategic gifting, for example, like being able to give them a mug with their name. right?
Right.
And you can have your logo there, but at least have their name. It's personalized, right? Like, and things that you know that they like, things that could be useful for the retreat, or things that, right, like they have a value for them, that they really value that. So those type of things can build that culture of surprise, delight, and wow. That then, when it comes to upsells, cross sells, referrals, becomes easy because they love you. They're raving fans. They wanna do more with you because the experience is so good that
Exactly.
they just want to be with you forever now. Want to help you. So
Right. Yeah, that's definitely what.
um yeah. Other other than that, when it comes to, because there's so many things, right? Like, I'm thinking about doing a retreat requires so many things. So there's so many moving pieces, right? There's the location, there's the food, there's the security, there's the payments, make sure that everybody's paying on time, everybody's like that accountability. uh do you like to keep track of everything, to be able to do it in the most efficient way? Do you have like a framework, or what retreat boss that you said that it comes with a lot of perks? And what other than the opportunities for connections and things that you have established by working with so many people, is there, like, what else do you have that makes it like really easy for people to be able to make a profitable retreat?
It's, time is of the essence, right? And time is money. So if you have to make those connections from the beginning, it takes up a lot of time. And the other thing is, like, do you know them? Are they really, good service providers, whether it's a venue or a photographer? So these connections are very helpful to have somebody to do that for you, or that has the connections, or at least, you got to know where your networks are. The world is very, very big. When I say I have eyes and feet everywhere, it doesn't mean necessarily that there are actual planners in every single country of this world or every city, because it's very big. But because I've built, besides having the planners, besides having a database of a lot of people and a lot of venues, okay, besides all that, let's say none of that is good because you are very specific, to what you want. Then I have to go
Or
out.
for example, like, I'm in Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
right? I'm in Puerto Rico, for example. Do you have connections in here? I know it's outside of the continental United States and all that. That's a good example.
So I'd be going into my networks, right? Or I'd be going, hey, Foo, connect me, right? No, but uh so no, but there's networks also that I'm involved in. Okay, so I'm involved in associations. I'm involved in different networks. So let's say none of my other stuff, my database, my planners, doesn't work out because you're very unique, or I just don't have somebody there, right? I will go into my networks and I will connect through there. So, and it's also experience too. If someone gets into this business, has never traveled, has no idea about any of that, they're going to have a hard time. They're going to have to connect with themselves with somebody like RetreatBoss, for example, or, plus a travel agency, all these and associations, to really be able to get that door open for them, to be able to get those recommendations. It's very difficult to do it alone. You're gonna waste so much time. You're not gonna be making money because you're gonna be chasing your tail. So you have to connect yourself with somebody like that in order to have, like, the easy, like, pick up the phone or text or email and say, hey, do you have somebody, I don't know, in the San Diego area that can help me? Client wants it in San Diego specifically, wants, I don't know, a speaker that speaks about addiction. So, like, I would look in my network and see, do I have any facilitators or coaches that speak about addiction in the San Diego or near area? I would have to look up the venues there. I would have to, whatever they need, and I would, like, curate the retreat for that specific area. So it's not easy to be international. You really have to build the networks. A lot of people are very, like, focused. So they'll be like, I do retreats in Puerto Rico. That's it. That's great. So people know, if you want a retreat in Puerto Rico, you go to Foo, right? So,
Hopefully that's what I'm trying to build, to be honest. So hopefully
so
people think Retreat with Foo, and we do all this holistic, very spiritual, but also talking about business because that's what I'm about. So that's the goal. So
Yeah.
let's manifest that, right?
And it will happen. It will happen. Look, you're already making the connection with me, right? So we're already talking about it. You're already putting it out there. So your
Exactly.
network of people listening on the podcast are going to be like, they're going to hold you on it. They're going to be like, what happened? Where's those retreats? When are they happening? Are you doing it?
Yeah. I have my yoga instructor that I go to yoga every Sunday, except like this last one, but I did yoga by myself because I woke up late. But she told me, she asked me, "Hey, look, I got this with another instructor that she's moving to Spain, but she wants to do some retreats over there, but she wants to do one here before leaving. If you can help us, and that way, like I can help them as a marketer, monetize a percentage of it, blah blah blah." Right? So I was like, yeah, like I thought about talking to you and just tapping to my network in general to see what's in here as options. I already asked a couple people and just make it what's going to be our positioning to be unique, something that people can really resonate with. She already has a community because she has a WhatsApp group with people that she gives classes every single Sunday. Plus, she's doing during the week too. So those elements that you mentioned, we're definitely touching on those, and I'll make sure that the documents get signed and things to get done properly, so everybody's protected. Because the last thing we want is somebody to try to take advantage of. Because sometimes when people just trying to find anything, especially in the United States, it's like the place that gets the most, people sue the most. It's like people sue some Red Bull because it didn't give it wings, and
Right.
they actually won.
What?
So it was like, what? Like, do you really?
Yeah, when it says, I
That's
saw
crazy.
the other day, and it says on, Pizza Hut, right? On the box, I think if I remember correctly, the words said, open box to eat the pizza. I'm like, seriously?
Hey, if it's
So
there, it's because
yeah,
somebody messed up at some
somebody
point.
must have said this wasn't pizza and they were eating I have no idea, but that's crazy. But imagine that you have to write that, right? Like, I see it in my business, and I see it with other people. Oftentimes, like, something happens in their life, they can't afford it. Maybe the credit card bill came in and all of a sudden they realize I can't afford this retreat, right? And they'll be like, I need to cancel whatever, right? Or even my courses, let's say, oh, I need a refund because of something, whatever. And it could be written on the contract. No refund, no refund policy. Like, there's no refund. As soon as you pay, it's finished, right? Like, you've paid, you've committed. And they'll still try to, like, get the refund. They'll still try, they'll make up stories, and then, you've got to have your receipts, right? Saying, well, let's say for a course, because it's more of a product, right? So let's say that someone buys a course, comes to you a few months later after the course and says, I want a refund, I can't log in. Okay. You can't log in. Okay. Maybe, your cache is, like, whatever, you're giving them all these solutions, but I want a refund, I can't log in. So then you have to go back and look at all your technical stuff and say, well, first of all, there's no refund policy. But if there was technical issues that you couldn't get in and we couldn't resolve it, okay, absolutely, I would go away from the policy and say, here's your refund. You couldn't log in for weeks now. I'm so sorry, like good customer care. But if you saw the person log in, took the course, whatever, and just at the end of it says, I want a refund because they just want to try. Maybe it's worked for them before. Somebody who maybe hasn't had those receipts and, complained enough, and the people got scared and said, okay, here's your refund. But if you have, a system in place where, there is terms and conditions on your website that, when they do sign up for the retreat, you say you are aware that this is a fitness retreat and you have to be fit, right? Check it off. Yes. It's happened where people have gone to a silent retreat. You know what a silent retreat is, right? You don't speak. He had
Yeah.
no idea that he couldn't speak for 7 days at this retreat. He signed up. It was not clear at all. And he went to this retreat and he found out at the retreat that he's going to be silent for the next 7 days. Right? So stuff like that, right? That could get that retreat sued, saying like, there was nowhere on your website, nowhere on your registration, or even if it wasn't clear, right? Oh, it was written like at the bottom of the website, that could still get you sued. It has to be very clear, or if it's not made like for, if somebody has some disability, you could actually just make sure they check off. Anybody with disability would not be able to, go on this retreat because there's 30 stairs to climb and we're climbing mountains and whatever. Check it off, and then that person's not going to sign up, obviously. But if they do, and they do show up, and they get upset with you saying, well, I wasn't expecting this, you're going to turn around and say, hey, on your website, on my website, you checked off that this is not a retreat for people with disabilities because of ABC reasons, right? Finished. So yeah, clarity is very important. And there are people out there that will try to get a refund for whatever ABC reason or a discount. Unfortunately, there is people like that. There's not too many. Most people are very good people. But there is that one odd person once a year that will just drive you crazy because they just feel like, getting a refund all of a sudden for no reason, no good reason, right? So yeah, that does happen. So imagine if you don't have a contract though. You have to
Yeah.
get that refund. Important.
Yeah. Very, very important.
Yeah.
It's is there any addition to what we have about talked before, is there any last takeaway or last two takeaways you want to leave the audience with?
Sure. There's not a company that exists or, in this world that cannot offer retreats, including corporations, including accountants, including whatever. If you are into team building, if you hire a company that does it right, that your team, your people that come into, especially now with everything being remote. So when you do these retreats, you think first of all, it's tax deductible. Okay. You can ask any accountant. Okay. So especially if it's a business retreat, but also if it's a corporate retreat, it's tax deductible. Your team is going to come there. Your people are going to come there. They're going to get education on your vision. Your team is going to feel connected. They're going to get to meet each other, like because they're remote and stuff like that. It creates an incredible culture and team spirit in a sense where they go back, they feel part of the company, they feel valued because you're going to ask, for their shared ideas. Sometimes people don't meet the higher management, and you get to find out what's going on, like if you're very, very high in management, like CEOs and stuff like that, presidents, you don't know what's going on, in the company, what the management's telling you. So you get to find out. And sometimes, and most times, they're the ones with the solutions, with the problems that you may think that you haven't been able to solve, So these retreats create that. And these teams go back and the productivity is incredible. And the turnover with your employees is so much less. And everybody's so much happier. And it brings back any money that you did spend, which again is tax deductible. So you didn't spend, And so there is no company that should not be doing this, even small companies. It's a great place to start like brainstorming. And, if you're starting off, it's just, there's so much you could do with a retreat that, no matter how small or how big the company is, or if you're just starting off, there's no reason not to do this. It's an incredible journey for you and for the people that are invited to this retreat. So that's my takeaway. I'm passionate about it because I've seen what it does. And also for profitability, for those who are in it for profit. I've seen companies completely turn over their strategy just into retreats because they're like, oh my goodness. It's kind of like the secret of marketing. People don't know about it. It's an incredible marketing tool. How much does it cost to place an ad?
Yeah.
Very expensive. Not on Google and not on radio. It's hundreds, thousands of dollars. You have people paying you to be at your retreat for 5, 6, 7 days, and they're going to go market for you, and you don't pay them anything to do that because they're going to want to, and they're going to buy again and again. So imagine that you're not paying for your marketing, and you have people that are your biggest fans just because you offered them so much value. So it's a secret marketing tool that people aren't really aware of, and they're not using it like that. They're using it as a vacation. Big mistake. You could be making money, and I want people to be making money because it's sustainable that way, and you will continue doing more and more retreats and creating transformation. So
And
that's
better
the way. That's
too.
what I want people to leave with.
I really love the statement of every single company should do retreats. Doesn't matter if you're starting out, if you're a big corporation, everybody should do them. I really love that statement. I love the fact that it, you mentioned also it doesn't matter, what profession you have. Like you mentioned accountants, and then you made me think about my client Angie Tone, and she does retreats
Mm-hmm.
on July. She's an accountant, a CPA, and then after tax season, and with she has built a community called the Executive Touch, and she has all these accountants and tax pros, and some lawyers in the tax law, and that community she's built. Like, then hey, let's go to Jamaica. That's where they went last year, and they're going this year too. Then she'll change it. She said, but like she likes Jamaica. She's from there. She has a nice villa,
Mm-hmm.
and she already has and then she makes it a business thing too. So like, hey, yeah, we're gonna be there. We're gonna enjoy it, but also she brings speakers. She has activities, and in even the things that you do, because she's certified by IRS and NAFBA. She can even give continuous education or continuous professional education credits to the people that attend there, that need those, right, those enrolled agents and those CPAs that need those to keep their certifications, right, there on current, right, because they need to keep studying. So she managed to do something that is both productive, profitable, and also something to enjoy, because that ultimately we need to take care of ourselves. We need to find ways to really enjoy life and feel pleasure with people that are like-minded, people that are, that's why the community aspect, and business and pleasure, both things at the same time. Like, it doesn't get much better than that, at least in my book. So
This just sounds like a very smart
um
lady.
um she really is. By the way, yeah, well, uh I when it comes to the when you say marketing, one great thing is it's not record the whole retreat, but while you have the speakers, you have all those things, recording all that, and being able to even make it hybrid, or at least get the recording, so the recordings to then you have content that is valuable. You have short clips that are punchy for brand awareness. You got pictures. You got all that, right? That all that because of that retreat, right? You can trickle down all kinds of contents, even written content from the transcripts of the recordings and things like that, right? So, and then collaborations, right? The people that you meet there, you can collaborate. Then going to their podcast, or you have a podcast, or like Facebook lives, Instagram collaborations, things like that, right? So that's another big value. And one question, because I'm trying to look for something for this. Have you ever done a retreat, a hybrid, or at least a client or something that has been people can participate maybe in some of the areas online where people are in person too? Given that
So
since 2020 to here, that's being a
I
big
yes.
thing.
So what you could do is, so hybrid. For me, there's people that were doing retreats online all the time. Okay, that's not it's not very hard. But what you could do as far as hybrid is concerned, when you do a retreat, there's always a pre-event and a post-event that I always suggest people do and I recommend. Okay, that's one thing where it's hybrid. The second hybrid thing that you could do is if like I'll give you an example, somebody like that can't make it to the retreat physically, but would do really well on a big screen, assisting people during the retreat. So let's say dancing or something like that, where they're on the big screen and they're following some type of activity. That is also very possible as well. I don't know if I answered your question, but that's what I consider a hybrid, where you do interplay, people that are now, if people want to participate during the retreat, that's also another thing that you could do. Not too many people do it though, or they, because it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Maybe they could be there during a session, a coaching session or something like that. But
That what I'm thinking, yeah, what I'm thinking is I was for a very specific case of let's say Angie's retreat. So she brings speakers to talk about a specific topic for 50 minutes. So then she can give out credits, because every 50 minutes it's one credit that you can give as a continuous education credit.
yes,
So those, if people tap in online
right.
and just take the speakers, they're learning in their live there, so like they get the credit, so they don't, it's not an activity of team building or culture or all these different things that are more in person, blah blah. But being able to listen from a speaker while everybody there is in person, but then there's people just being able to watch. And that's kind of what I was looking. If you have being able to do something like that, and if you know any companies that specialize on helping with the tech side of that.
So yes, that's what I meant. Like if there's a coaching session or something like that, then yes, people can, be part of that. But it's not popular as far as being part of the entire retreat. There's activities or stuff you're not, that's not going to happen. But yeah, part of a coaching session, part of a speaking session, part of something like that, absolutely, and it'll bring you extra revenue away from your retreat. The participants that are there, absolutely. You have to take something and see how many streams of revenue can I bring into this one event, and everything that you said, like from that to from before when I was selling books or whatever, the collaborations also, there's also the after effect, right? The collaborations, the Instagram posts, the tagging, all of that brings revenue to you afterwards, and a continued revenue. It's not, so it's like a launching pad. It's a launching pad. So, I just had a student that just did exactly that. From her one retreat, her first retreat, she has 7 retreats now. And she has collaborations left, right, and center. Like that's how much it blew up. So, if you're smart, you could take this one event and create literally a masterpiece, and it's just going to blow up in every way that you want it to blow up. Plus, we hire people like you to help us
Amazing.
with marketing.
I love this. Of course. And I'm always, always out there, always learning new things. It's not only the connections that I have right now. I know you're like that too. It's the knowledge, the connections, the relationships that I'm building really strong and all that through like every day, right? Every day I have more conversations, and I'm out there in person, virtually, you name it. So, so given all this information that we've covered, I know there's gonna be some people that want to connect with you, and also I would like to know what type of people you would like to connect with, and how can people find you?
So they can find me at RetreatBoss.com. Okay, that's the website for retreats. They could also connect with me on LinkedIn under Catherine Kontos, Catherine with a C, Kontos with a K. The people that should, anybody who is looking to do their first retreats, they could take the courses or the programs. If they don't feel like wasting their time, they don't have that time, and they want to hire, they could hire us as well. Anybody who's been doing retreats for a long time, doesn't want to take care of the logistics, wants to hand it over, wants to just show up with their program, they can hire us as well. If they just want to hire us, like we also have a la carte, like they want just a director for a retreat. They want just someone to find the venue, anything like that. We do that as well. So anything of that kind, they could call us and we'll give them, the service that they need. And doesn't matter where in the world, we will connect them and we'll make it happen.
Awesome. Thanks for taking the time to come here and have a valuable conversation with me. It's something that I'm very interested in. Like I said, I want to get more into live events, and retreat is just a very long live event, So, as my dream life, I want to be able to be doing events that are mine or my clients, and also just be on other people's events constantly. And that's a combination between masterminds, between conventions, retreats, and just be doing that all year, getting all this knowledge, all the connections, so then I can serve my clients better, and just grow as a person, and have a more fulfilling life, because that's what I'm a people person. I'm always focused on self-development and business development, and the best way that I can do that is just being in person, just having real experiences, so then I can learn from that, and take that to my own brand and my clients. So thank you for coming here. I look forward to speaking with you more on these topics, and anything that can give me and my audience, we're gonna welcome it. So thank you again.
Well, thank you, and wishing you much, much success.
So this was Catherine Kontos, the Retreat Boss, and Foo, and this is us signing off.
Thanks for listening to Moments with Foo with your host, Foo. Please leave your feedback and visit strategicadvisorboard.com to get the latest and greatest business advisement on the planet. Follow us on social media for updates, and we will see you on the next episode.